Hi guys, this is Sid, the Garage Boy. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're working on 2015 Cadillac SRX. This one is 3.6 liter engine. Okay, so what's going on here is basically, long story short, we tried replacing the TCM transmission control module, and we tried to reprogram it. It did not work. One of the reverse gear is broken. It's not going into reverse, and also if you put it in neutral, it's going in forward, like it's driving. So basically, we're just going to replace the transmission completely. The biggest reason is, of course, the transmission oil was completely black. It was awful. We found some shiny metal parts in it, so we know we're pretty much done with the transmission. Now, just to show you really quickly, over here we took out the battery holder over here, took it out. We basically plopped it over here where we have the battery outside, and then of course we have the ECM, which sits here. You just take these out completely from the top. Now, this is not the transmission right here. This, from here to all the way inside, those screws that you see that are taken out, that's the transmission. So make sure you guys take those out. There's that's a 15 millimeter. There's one here, 15 millimeter, and also another 15 millimeter over there inside. I don't know if you guys can. There you go. Now you guys can see it. So those two are it. Now, as far as the torque converter bolts, yes, and we have the cable for the shifter that sits right here. So we basically took it out, and this is the shifter cable right here that's kind of hanging out. This pipe as well. You just take this pipe out of the way, and it comes out like this over here. I think that's pretty much it from the top. I don't think we focused on anything else. The other piece is the starter. That's what I wanted to show you. That's the main thing. You're gonna have to take out the starter from the bottom, and that's where you have the torque converter bolts. So once you take out the starter, you will see the torque converter bolts. You'll use the crankshaft to spin clockwise and take out your torque converter bolts. I haven't gone in there yet. I believe they should be right around 13 millimeter, and from I believe about 5 bolts. I'll give you an update as we go along. I'll go ahead and keep taking the videos and keep showing you. All right guys, so this is kind of like the part 2 video. I wanted to kind of demonstrate what exactly we did. So far, let me show you with light. There's no axis from here, okay? So we were thinking about actually cutting this piece right here, which is a battery stage, just removing the battery stage and, you know, pulling out the transmission. But as we actually measured, and there's no clearance at all. So as everyone recommended, not only the dealership but also the transmission we got from the junkyard, they removed it, and they stated basically that you will need to remove the frame. There's a couple of things you need to understand when removing the frame. This is the frame right here. We left the rotors piece and the hub, so we left that together. We removed the sway bars. We removed the brake caliper right here. Removed the sway bar right here. Where did the sway bar go? There. So we have the sway bar and the arm that attaches to the next sway bar. We removed that completely. And then we kind of used the bungee cord to keep the rack and pinion and the tie rods in place. Okay, hopefully we don't have too much problem. While wiggling, we actually had issues where it was kind of hanging. So we kept it on top. The other piece is, when removing this piece, this side actually attaches to the exhaust. So make sure you remove this piece, you clear this out, and then finally this will start dropping. Now, we could have just, you know, pushed it back. We didn't do that because there's not enough clearance for us for the exhaust. So I think so far we finally have freedom to continue our work, which is removing the transmission in the first place. But yeah, just keep those couple of things in mind. Use a bungee cord, have the rack and pinion attached. We did remove the exhaust, the front part of the exhaust with the exhaust manifold. We kept the oxygen sensors attached to it. Where is it? I think the exhaust is in the back somewhere over there. So we removed the clips, okay, only, and we left the oxygen sensor on the exhaust itself. And then what else? This is kind of like the part 2. I wanted to kind of show you, so I will bring in part 3 to this, which is removing the transmission, which is the whole point anyway. Okay. All right, guys, this is part 3 for deassembling the transmission of 2015 Cadillac SRX. Now, you guys saw the frame out. You guys didn't see the transmission coming down. We were so into the taking out the transmission, we got too caught up and we did not include a video, unfortunately. I'm gonna show you right now. All right, so this is the transmission that came out, basically. We were able to successfully take it out. I want to give you some pointers on what exactly we did. Of course, the oil was leaking all over the place, over here. That's the jack I used. Make sure you strap the jacks properly. Strap the transmission properly so that it doesn't tilt. There's a couple things that we did. Once the frame was out, the transmission came out pretty easily. Very easily. I mean, I had all the space in the world to basically just, bring it down. Of course, when it plopped on the seat over here, it kind of tilted. So we kind of had to just wiggle it out and it came out. Same problem going up. Unfortunately, it would not seat properly. So we actually used a lift, engine lift over there that you see to plop it properly, because this is a very heavy transmission. We actually use this engine lift. It's at Harbor Freight, Pittsburgh, 8-ton engine lift. It's advertised as 8-ton. It's Pittsburgh from Harbor Freight. I believe I got it for right around $275, something like that. So I used that to actually seat it on the transmission engine lift, transmission lift or jack. I strapped it and we basically just rolled it all the way across to the vehicle. And from the driver's side, I'm going to show you right now. From the driver's side, of course, this tire was out, the wheel hub was out, the entire frame and the wheel hub with the rotor, everything was out of the way, as you guys saw last time. And we were able to basically sneak in from here inside, and we were able to basically bring it up. Now, we got one screw in on the bottom where the engine and transmission meets, and then we use kind of like a rod or like a crowbar, very long crowbar, to kind of tilt, because the transmission was sitting like this as it got up to the engine. Okay, so it was like this when it met on the bottom bolt. So I added the bolt from the bottom while it's sitting like this. I didn't screw it all the way. And then we used a kind of a crowbar, a very long crowbar, to kind of, put it against the frame of the car, of the vehicle, and like slap it in. So we actually made it meet right there. While my brother held it, I screwed it from top. Actually, I screwed the top bolt over here, this bolt right here, that bolt right there. I actually bolted that one with my fingers while he held it with a with a rod or like a crowbar. And once, you know, we got those 2 bolts in, it was pretty much everything backwards. So yeah, so basically from that point on, everything was backwards. There's not much pointers I could give you besides some of the hiccups that we had. Overall, the job was very intense, just because, you know, I've never done a subframe removal. I've done many transmissions, many engines, but never done a subframe removal. So it was kind of, you know, figuring things out. Where do you put the jack, and you kind of use your best judgment on what exactly you should do, what exactly you should be doing. I'll give you a scenario. For example, for mine, we removed the transmission. We had the transmission on one of the small jacks. I could show you the jack right here. We actually had it right here. This jack right here, and this jack was not that helpful. So be warned. I'm gonna warn you right now that we plopped the engine after removing the transmission. There's nothing holding the transmission and the engine to the frame. So once that transmission was out, the engine only had one engine mount right here, because the subframe are gone from the bottom as well. So you had only one engine mount here holding, and this jack, we placed it right here. However, that jack was not strong enough and just kept creeping down and down and down and out of the way. We went to go eat lunch, and when we came back, the engine was like this. There's no jack supporting it. The only thing that was holding the engine, the mount, it was still on the mount actually. Since if it wasn't on the mount, the engine would have been on the bottom. Since it was on the mount, but outside the mount, one of the bars of the mount was sitting on the mount. So it was like this, and then all the wires and hosing that were connected to the firewall, and also connected to air intake box, the air box, and all those wires basically held it from dropping completely on the floor. So we came back, we saw, lo and behold, engine on the floor, literally hanging by a couple threads. So we actually quickly used the big jack, the red one right here. We used this jack right here to basically bring it about to the top, and then we put another jack stand, jack stand to kind of give it another support. So we had a jack stand, the red jack held up, and then it became into an engine job, because we had to now use the engine hoist to basically bring it up and hold it up here. And before we could add the new transmission and meet the new transmission, we had to put the engine that fell out of the engine mount. We picked it up and we reinserted into the hole, into the rubber casing of the engine mount, where, finally it back where we left it, right? We went to go eat lunch, that's how we left it. So our job became a little bit more difficult because of that. We wanted to get it done that same day of that lunch meeting, but unfortunately, after seeing what happened, we wanted to figure out a different plan, so we left it for the next day, and the next time we met, we were able to basically complete the job itself. Now, what else is there? Putting the subframe back was not too bad. Just use a couple jacks to lift from both sides. Once you lift from both sides, put the jack stands, and then hoist the wheel hub and rotors to the shocks and struts, so that the most heavy piece is the rotors and the wheel hub. So make sure you get them locked up to the shocks and struts. The subframe becomes very easy to kind of wiggle after that once it's up to the shocks and struts. Once you do that, your bolts will become easy. Use the jack stands to bring it up again, and then you know, once one screw is in, the rest of the job becomes easy. So that's what we did. The car is basically driving pretty much perfect. There is some jerkiness in second gear and the third gear, so we may try using bars leak for transmission, just to kind of make the transmission a little bit smoother again. We did pick up the transmission at a local shop, Hennigan auto body, not auto body, but junkyard. Hennigan, Callahan junkyard, which is pretty big, if you ask me. So we shouldn't have any problems. But you know, it doesn't hurt to add bars leak and go from there. So that's pretty much it. There's you know, those are a couple pointers. Try not to attempt this until you have an engine hoist, because you definitely might end up using it, if not for the engine falling like the mistake that we did, but at least to pick up the transmission, because it is very heavy and you can't just plop it. Even with two people, we couldn't get it on the transmission jack. So we used the engine hoist to pick it up, and then put the new transmission on the engine jack, so that we could strap it up. So make sure you have all the equipment that I mentioned: transmission jack, engine hoist, at least 2 jacks, 2 heavy 6-ton jacks, and 2 3-ton jacks. You're gonna need all those heavy duty equipment to get this job done. It is not easy, even with, I don't recommend one person doing it. 2 people is definitely recommended. That's for sure. There's a couple things, many things that exhaust manifold, I couldn't get it up there to lock it up on the engine. I had my brother pick it up and you know, attach it, and picking up the subframe, you know, adding the one part of the bolt, and then you know, other bolts should, you know, be held by another person. So there's a couple of things that come about. You need at least 2 people to get the job done, and I don't recommend you know, one person doing this unless you have some type of help. That's pretty much it. Thanks a lot for watching the channel. I hope I see you guys again. Subscribe, leave a comment. Any questions you guys have, go ahead and leave it in the comment. I will try to answer it as quickly as possible. Thanks a lot. Bye.